Hey, what up? Sounds great. It's Miss Mac. I'm here to go over your narrative podcast, which is your first podcast episode. I'm so excited. All right, bear with me. I'm going to share my screen so that I can go over your slides. Hope you're all doing well. We're already in May. Crazy. One more month of school. Getting there. All right, bear with me. I'm getting a new computer next week, so hopefully my videos should be a little more clear just because of the camera. First thing I wanted to just review is that I am grading your research papers, and how I'm doing it is I grade your research paper, and then right after I grade your Brave New World Responsible Lit in-class essay, so I'm doing one student at a time. And so far, the research papers have been excellent. Once yours is scored, I'll put the grade on Google Classroom, and then you can see the comments in the rubric on turnitin.com. So I actually put like little notes, and you can see how your score is broken down. For the response to lit essay for Brave New World, you're welcome to email me once your score's up if you want to know why. And I'm also going to put your AP rubric score on Aries. So like if yours has already been graded, you'll have your score at a 50 points. But then let's say it says an 8 in the comment, then that means you got an 8 out of 9 on the rubric. And remember, it was out of 9. And what I did is I just multiplied your score out of 9 by 5, and then you get 5 points just for doing the in-class essay. So it's out of 50 total. But I'll keep posting those scores during the next week, and let me know if you have any questions. And now we're moving on to the podcast unit. You guys have been doing the logs already to prep you. And again, no more logs. You only had 5 total, and you're welcome to turn any of those late if you're missing them. But now you actually get to create your own. So, and again, this is the first time I've done this unit, and we're also in distance learning. So far you guys have been very patient and enthusiastic, and I appreciate it. So we're just going to keep doing the best that we can. And I appreciate you guys like test running this for me for next year. So the full directions are here. I recommend that you look at them on your own. I do have a blank outline that's pretty helpful, and I'll talk more about outlining. And then this is a very thorough sample outline. It's more for a speech than a podcast, but it has the same essential criteria, but that's just an example of what you could do. All right, so here are the very, very basics. It should be 4 to 6 minutes in length, and I'll speak to that. The source for the narrative, because narrative is just storytelling, you're using your own life experience or a traditional story. If you do choose to tell more of a traditional story, if you need to give credit to an author or someone, please do so. And we can talk about that if you have any questions. And it's due this Friday, May 8th with your outline. I am not taking off any points for late submissions. I know the AP biology exam is Friday, so I know you have a lot on your plate. Do your best. If you can turn it in early, awesome. If not, turn it in late. No points off, that's fine. All right, so here's the agenda for the week. Roughly go at your own pace as you need. So Monday, you're watching this video. You're turning in your specific podcast topic for the week, either Monday or Tuesday. So I know specifically like what story you're going to tell. And there, again, no more podcast logs due today. Tuesday, you can listen to some of the sample podcasts that I put up here. Start planning, outlining your narrative. You don't really have to research this week. And then if you have any questions, I'll be there for office hours 2 to 2:30. Wednesday, I recommend like actually practicing going through. I find it very helpful, even if I have a very simple outline, to actually kind of rehearse once or twice. I don't need to say it word for word necessarily, but going through it a couple times is really helpful. Like even these videos, I end up doing them like 2 or 3 times because I end up messing up, and I practicing helps. And then Thursday, I recommend recording your podcast so you can edit it, re-record as you need to. And then Friday, you can submit with your outline on Google Classroom, or if you're struggling, share it with me in some way, email it to me, whatever. All right, so here's some model podcasts, which I highly recommend you listen to, even though you're not doing the log. Hasan Minhaj's Prom. It's from his stand-up comedy. I've seen him. I don't know if you've ever seen his stand-up, but it is a very focused story about one of his experiences with prom. So it's a great example, and his delivery is very engaging. So he's just a great example overall. And then my former coworker, Miss Vansable, she had her juniors do this same podcast assignment earlier in the year, and she's up at Carlmont High School in the Bay Area, and she made a Google Slides with some stellar examples. So I highly recommend that you listen to some of them, as these students are your age, and they may not be perfect podcasts, but a great example. And you make sure you choose a narrative one because they did multiple podcasts. But those are there for you to refer to. All right, so how am I going to grade these? I'm going to make it 10 points a podcast in the assessment category, so 30 points total. I'm going to grade them very kindly, more or less on effort and completion. Unless you just ignore my directions or it's extremely inappropriate or short, then I hope everyone should get an A. Even if you just record a voice memo of you venting for 4 minutes about your life and submit that to me, you will at least get a 6 out of 10, because that's Marshall's grading policy for distance learning, right? Nobody can get below a D. So give me something, and I'll give you some points. just get to hear your voice. And then your outlines are 28 points each in Google Classroom, so 60 points total. And again, this can be more of just a general outline. It can be like word for word script, depending on what works for you. But I should see that you have a clear topic and some sort of plan with how you're going to discuss it. And I'll grade those on completion and effort as well, just like I did with your research paper ones, which were excellent. All right, frequently asked questions. Can I work with someone from outside school? At first, I was going to say no, but I changed my mind because of distance learning. So yes, but I'm grading you. It's your podcast, so it should be clear that you're the one doing most of the planning and facilitating of the podcast. But some of you have really great proposals with how to include your family or friends, and I think that's a great idea. So why not? Can my podcast be longer than 6 minutes? I kept having people ask me, like, it has to be 4 to 6 minutes, and I can't tell if you think that's too long or too short. I think that you think it's too short, which makes sense because I always think this video is going to be like 2 minutes long and then it's like 10 minutes long because I talk too much. Yes, so it can be longer than 6 minutes. I do have to listen to them all. So hopefully if it's really, really long, I may not be able to listen to the whole thing immediately, but that's why your outline is helpful to me because I at least know what's going on. Does your outline have to be a word for word script? No, unless that's what works for you. It does not work for me. If I have word for word, I will mess it up. I need just like a basic outline, bullet points, what I'm going to say in what order, and I use that. But I get thrown off when I have to remember exactly what I'm going to say. But again, what's best for you? If you're nervous, maybe word for word will help. It's at least being recorded. It's not on video. So if you're using a guide in front of you, that's fine. It doesn't have to be memorized. I would say experiment and see what works. Do I have to share my podcast with the class? No, I can be the one who listens to it. That's fine. Hopefully some of you will be willing to share. I'd love to do the Google Sites like the example I have from Carlmont. I think that'd be really awesome. But no, I'm not going to require that you do that. This question I get a lot, and this is a good one. Do I have to have a narrative, informative, and argumentative podcast? The short answer is yes, but I think it's very possible to blend those genres. Like sometimes we read a story and it teaches us something, or you use an anecdote, a story about yourself to prove a point. So if this is a question that you specifically have, we can talk about this more, but I would like to see informational or argumentative elements in the next 2 podcasts. I will try to post the podcast directions early. I didn't want to overwhelm you all with the directions for all 3 at once, but I can definitely try to at least post the next week's like the Wednesday before instead of the Monday. And feel free to ask me if you have any questions. And can my podcast be about anything? Yeah, pretty much. Should be appropriate language as well. Check with me if you're not sure. I will say that if you are recording on a school device, you know that they like certain phrases or topics can like trigger the whatever it is, the warning system on the Chromebooks. I will like happily back you up that you're doing a podcast, but just keep that in mind if you're using your Chromebook. Here are some sample topics. So if you need a topic still, here are just some general ones. Someone asked if they could like build on their research paper topic. I think that is a fantastic idea. So like if you did smart home technology, like you could have personal stories about that. You could kind of put your research in like a podcast form for the informational one, and then you could debate certain aspects of it. That would be completely fine. I love that idea. And then we were wondering, like, how can you take one topic and adapt it to like the different types of writing genres? So for example, let's say I wanted to pick the AP exams. I could tell like my personal experience taking one of those tests, or I could like interview other people. Maybe my informative one teaches my listener about some aspect of AP testing, either like when it started, like something about College Board, statistics, facts, whatever you want. And then the argumentative one could be like a debate. Are the AP exams, like, is that fair to have them online this year? What about those changes? You could discuss whether that was like a valid choice that they made. So that's just an idea how you could apply like the topic in different ways. Same with like distance learning. Maybe you have personal experiences, then you research and teach about some aspect, and then maybe you debate, like, should we continue online learning next year? So this isn't something you have to do this way. It doesn't have to be this focused on one topic. Again, it can be more of like a thematic thing, and I'm not going to ding you if you can't come up with like a common theme or topic. It's not the end of the world this year, but here's some examples of how you could do that. Again, let me know if you have any questions, whether in office hours or whatever, I'm here for you. And so far, I'm really impressed with everything you guys have come up with, looking at your proposals. And I'm very excited to listen. Some of you are concerned with like working with partners. How can you record that? I think that there are some apps where you can record a phone call, but they're a little convoluted, but you could fool around with that. You could like video chat like I'm doing now and record with an external device like voice memo. There's Google Voice where you can set up like a whole different phone number and call someone and record it is a way to do it. So there's some different options. Also, if you are really struggling to work with your partner, I can always set up a Google Meet, which is how I record my notes. And I can have you guys meet with me in the Google Meet, and then I'll leave and you guys can record it like I do. And that can be how you do your podcast. Just again, if you're on your Chromebook, then it needs to be school appropriate, or else it might like trigger the check-ins from the administration. But I'm always willing to talk to them about if you're talking about a sensitive topic, because I know some of these might be personal and we're just keeping an eye out for everyone's mental health. So I don't want anyone to be nervous if you're talking about a topic like that, but I'll happily support you. So let me know if you have any issues. Again, I'm messing with this as well, but some of you seem very competent when it comes to the tech aspect. So I am grateful for that. And I think that's all of my notes. I was trying to think of anything else I'm missing. Keep doing the daily Mac challenges. Again, I give you extra credit if you post frequently, and I love hearing from you guys. Good luck on the AP bio test this week. I'm sure you'll all crush it. And then I know there's more next week. And just keep in touch, communicate. I miss you guys. Take care. I drove by Marshall the other day. It was really sad. Just cried in my car. I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you. Have a good week. Bye.